Footbap Nation!
Let's ride.
Welcome everybody to another episode of the Fantasy Footbaps podcast. It's me, B Dizzle, and my co-host Paul. Paul, say what up.
What up, boys and girls?
Ooh, inclusive. Yeah, so We're back with another happy 11 weeks through the season onto week 12. Things are getting super heated in terms of like the playoff race and stuff. Some things are opening up, like we're starting to see who maybe the real contenders are, maybe like who's fraudulent and who's not. Some teams have been eliminated already. It's wild, Paul. You ready to get into it?
Yeah, this is a crazy week ahead.
All right.
Currently.
We'll start off with me and Mike's matchup. So I played Mike. I beat him 107-70. And now I will say my predictions did come true because I did say he was getting 20 from Purdy and Jamar, and he did. But everyone else pretty much did nothing. But the second that I saw Mike put Gabe Davis in his lineup was when I actually felt good. And then he picked up the Titans defense, and I don't know what defense he dropped, but I was like, okay, it just seemed like kind of bizarre. Obviously, 1 point from Kelsey is totally unprecedented, but even if he scored 30, Mike still would have lost. But
Surprise, he didn't stick with his loyalty to Alec Pierce or Pittman. I feel like he's had either of them in his lineup every week.
That's what I'm saying. He picked up Gabe Davis and started him over both of them, and I was like, wow, that's like pretty shocking because Gabe Davis, besides that one game, he hasn't scored over like 2 points.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so I was in shock when that happened. And the 1 o'clock game started off kind of interesting. I don't know if you were watching the Detroit game, but so in the 2020 Fantasy Football Championship, I played Nick Sad, and I've told this story before, but I had two quarterbacks. I had Jalen Hurts in his rookie year, who was like pretty mid, but he was kind of like getting 16 to like 22 points just off of like rushing production. And then on top of that, I can't even remember what other running back I had. It was like a Chiefs running back that was kind of like filling in for a week. But the other quarterback I had was Tom Brady, and the other running back I had was Myles Gaskin. And Tom Brady and Myles Gaskin were in my lineup all week. And Brady was playing Detroit back when Detroit was shit. And I was like, I thought that it was safer to start Jalen Hurts over Tom Brady because I was like, man, if the Buccaneers go up like 35-0 in the first half, which I think they will, Tom Brady's not going to play the entire second half. And I was right about that. The Buccaneers did go up like 35-0 in the first half. The only so I benched Tom Brady for Jalen Hurts.
I looked it up. It was Le'Veon Bell on the Chiefs.
Yes, there you go. I benched Tom Brady like 10 minutes before the game started. And like I said, the Buccaneers did go up like 35-0 in the first half. However, Tom Brady threw like 5 touchdowns in the first half before he got benched for the second half. So that was number one. Number two, like 10 minutes before the game started, the Dolphins announced that Salvin Ahmed was going to be the starting running back and not Myles Gaskin. And I was like, fuck. So I quickly pivoted to Le'Veon Bell. Myles Gaskin scored like 35 points. And Myles Gaskin was clutch for me that whole season. He was doing good for me for the most part until like I think he got hurt. And with that happening, I lost to Nick, maybe even by like 30, but like the difference was in those two players. Like Brady and Gaskin outscored like Hurts and Le'Veon Bell by like 40. Like it was bad. But all that to say, I started Jared Goff this week, and he was playing Jacksonville, and I decided this time I was like, I'm not doing what I did last time, because a part of me was like, I should maybe not start Jared Goff. They have Montgomery and Gibbs. Like they might run for 4 touchdowns in the first half. Jared Goff doesn't play in the second half. And I don't know if you paid attention to the game, but that's basically what happened. There were Jared Goff was like 10 for 10 with 150 passing yards, but all 3 touchdowns went to Monty and Gibbs. And I was like, I knew this would. So it's 21-0 in the first quarter, and I was like, I knew this was going to happen. What a fucking disaster! But thank God, Detroit was just for some reason decided to like embarrass the shit out of Jacksonville because they just kept passing and shit. And Goff ends up getting me fucking 35 points, which was so clutch. But yeah, so at first I was getting flashbacks where I was like, this is what I thought was going to happen to Tom Brady in that fucking game 4 years ago or 5 years ago. And now it's happening to me in this, like, and it's the Lions again. Like, obviously Brady was playing the Lions, but Goff is on the Lions now. So that was what I was like getting flashbacks of that, dude. It felt so bad. And I needed that so bad because AJ Brown got me 9 points against Washington on Thursday night. Thought I was fucked there. Mooney fucking hurt his hamstring in like the second or third quarter. That kind of sucked. Although I will say they like came out after the game and were like, oh no, he wasn't really that hurt or something. They were just down 38-6 and I guess didn't think it was worth sending him back in. So hopefully that's actually true. All that to say, yeah, it was the games were close when Madison and Justice Hill had like 6 and 8 points at like halftime with their games, and Jared Goff like hadn't scored many points at that point, but I ended up pulling away and got the dub. Mike 3-8, but he's technically not eliminated from. I'm pretty sure I checked the standings.
Yeah,
so
he's still alive.
He's still fighting. Let's get to this one. This was kind of a piss fest in terms of like I thought it was over, and then I guess Steve almost won. I don't know. It didn't really feel all that close. But I think that's probably because DeAndre Swift, I think like he just got all his points running like a 50-yard touchdown, right? Didn't he?
Yeah. It was late in the game.
This is him like every week though. Like all of these weeks that he has 26, 19, 19, like he basically runs a 50-yard touchdown in, and then it's like, all right, that's all of his production on the week. Is there anything that you take away from it? Josh Allen?
Well,
is he our panic meter on Josh Allen?
Well, if he didn't have that touchdown at the end of the game, it would be a 10. But luckily he pulled it off.
He had a 40-yard touchdown run with like 3 minutes
29
left.
29 yards, all right.
To get you 24 points? Come on, that's not the usual Josh Allen.
Well, no, the thing is that it was up until like what was that? No, that was the 4:30 game. But still, like there were not many players left. Bo Nix had a great game.
Yeah.
So that just made my confidence even less. But luckily, Kyle Pitts and Jacoby Myers did nothing. Besides that, Steve's team did do well. But
yeah,
as I was saying, it was very close. Because Bo Nix in Atlanta, I feel like that was. I don't know if that was a 1 p.m.
That was a
4
p.m. game.
Okay, that's why. Because it was just between them and Cortland Sutton too, and Josh Allen. So those three were the only ones active, and it was very close. So it was just came down to the wire. I was tied with Steve. I had like 110. He had 102 or whatever, and then Josh Allen had that touchdown, and I went up. Or no, Steve didn't have 102. The projection said 102 because CeeDee Lamb was projected 13. He got 14. Do we
have a panic meter on Cooper Kupp? He scores 26 points, so like yeah, obviously, but what he had like a 60-yard touchdown where they like didn't cover him. Did you see that? That was fucking crazy.
Yeah, it was just one guy.
Because as someone that has him in my work league, like he's getting me points, which is cool, but they don't feel good every week. Like I don't like what I see. Like I don't know. It's kind of weird. I feel like he's like a short yardage guy. Yeah, Kupp is just kind of like a short yardage guy. Like at least they use him in the red zone, but like I kind of hate how he's used. Like Puka basically is the Cooper Kupp role now, and I don't know what role Cooper Kupp plays. Like it's like his own like different Kupp role, but
yeah. But
either way,
I'm okay as long as he gets his 10 points. I'll be happy. He hasn't had this shit game yet, so until that happens, I'll be happy.
Yeah, we at least have, because we have like half PPR, so like this in my work league was just 8 points. So like things like that don't look as good, or like this was like 11, and so on and so on. Cortland Sutton's just like a beast, I guess. Cortland Sutton, how do you end up with him every year? We should.
Mike traded me him.
I know, but we talk about like people be having allegiances to players. You and Cortland Sutton is a major under. You've had him for probably like 5 years now. Remember when you took him in like the third round like 3 years ago, and he was like not even a top 50 wide receiver. He was
due to boom. Yeah, due to boom, and this is the year finally.
Is this
This is considered him booming.
Is next week going to be the Deontay Johnson week?
He's off my team. He would have been dropped.
We'll get to that later. Paul,
he would have been dropped either way, though.
Paul, you're 7-4. Steve is 6-5. This was a big game here. Also, Dewey loses to Chip by 10. Dewey 6-5. Chip 5-6. So Chip saves his season. Dewey is in a scary spot now.
Mm-hmm. With Jaden Daniels 2 piss classes in a row.
Yeah, some things I want to call out here when I saw this. Negative. I don't know why Chip started the Chargers defense versus Cincy. That was just one of the most bizarre things that I've seen. The other one was like you said, Jaden Daniels. Let's see, Jaden Daniels since week 6. So week 6, he beast, but then he got hurt this game. Let's not count that, but. 22, 19, 8, 13. I'm kind of worried about Jaden Daniels.
Yeah, Bijan didn't do good. Bijan had a worst game of the year, believe it or not.
Oh, really?
That 8.3, yeah.
Okay, yeah, hardly, though, because he had 9.2 and 9.4.
That's still crazy.
That's technically, yeah. I mean, it's Denver, so I'm not, too shocked. Monty, 23 points. Drake London, you pretty much, just have to hope for a touchdown. If he doesn't catch a touchdown, I guess he kind of has a bad game. But I guess last week he had 97. Either way, Jaden and Terry piss class. Basically, when that happened on Thursday night, Dewey was pretty much toast. I mean, he gets 14 combined points from 2 players that, I don't know if Terry has had, 13, 15, 15, 12, 20, 11, 15, 18. Yeah. Not only his worst game of the year, but he's had 12 plus points every week since week 3. So that was crazy. But when that happened, I knew Chip was going to win this game. And even with Dewey's defense getting 17 and Monty getting him 23, he still loses. So it's tough scene there. Yeah. And then maybe Chip didn't lose the trade with Austin. Breece Hall gets him 28. That's pretty much another thing that did it there. Zach Ertz. Oh my God.
Oh wow.
He had that garbage time touchdown. He had a garbage time touchdown and 2-point conversion that meant nothing. So that's also kind of crazy. What a weird game. Either way, Chip keeps the season alive. Dewey's dead. Not dead. Why did I say that? Dewey's not dead. Dewey is in a tough spot now, 6-5. And 6-5 is still good. And he's probably at 6-5, you probably have a 70% chance. It's kind of crazy. Everyone's 6-5 and above. We have 10 people, and they all probably have a 70% chance to make it. No one's out of it for the most part. Even in this scenario, Austin 4-7 loses to Kyle 8-3. So 142, 114. Feel bad for Austin because his team did good. Negative 3 points from his defense again for Austin. Just can't get the defense right, it seems. Judy on the bench. I mean, why would he have started Jerry Jeudy? But still, Judy on the bench. Yeah. I don't know. I guess this game looks like it wasn't as close. It looks like Kyle beats Austin by 30. All right, I get it. But Joe Mixon had 34 points on Monday night. Let's be honest. This really wasn't
and Brock Bowers going insane.
Yeah, Brock Bowers is this year's Sam Laporta. I mean, it's different though because Sam Laporta was doing it last year off of being in a good offense and being a second option. Brock Bowers is the number one option on a shit team, but a number one option on 16 targets, 14, 10, 12, I mean 9, 8. He gets thrown to fucking 20 times a game. It's impossible for Brock Bowers to not do good in a week. And then Kyle gets 20 from Juwan Jennings, 21 from Puka. It's just Kyle, he won it last year and he won it. Remember, his team looked not good. And then all of a sudden, CeeDee Lamb and Dak, they turned up. They turned amazing. Kyle's doing the exact same thing this year. It was 4 weeks into the season. And I'm pretty sure I might have even said on the show, Kyle's team doesn't look that great. Because it was he's starting Ramondre, who's not great. He's starting, he
starting Tony Pollard, who did play well, but I didn't think he was great.
Yeah, it was things that weren't going to keep up, and I didn't like. And at that point, Jalen Hurts was playing really bad. Garrett Wilson wasn't playing good. Puka was injured, and I was like, man. I mean, obviously you didn't have Juan Jennings, so I was like, man, like Kyle's team looks rough, but I guess this is just going to be an every year thing for Kyle. Like his team magically just becomes the best in the league like 4 or 5 weeks into the year.
Well, he's right on pace with Nick. Him and Nick are, I think, my championship round pick because Nick historically always turns it up at the end of the year, and he's actually in a good position to be in the playoffs. So could be.
I mean, he's gonna be in the playoffs. I would be completely shocked if he didn't make the playoffs. But the one shocking thing is Joe Mixon is the best running back in fantasy randomly at 30 years old. I think number one in points per game. Like I bet he missed like fucking 5 weeks. He's still RB5. Or he missed 3 weeks, 3.5 weeks. He's still RB5. But like points per game wise, it doesn't even make sense to me. Imagine if like 3 years from now, Paul, Josh Jacobs was the best running back in the NFL. Like in fantasy. Imagine if 2 years from now, Aaron Jones is the best running back in fantasy. It like is completely unprecedented. It makes zero sense to me. Like
also, he's scored. I mean, not counting his game he got injured in, every week that he's fully healthy, he scores a touchdown, at least one.
Oh yeah, it's unbelievable. Like
it's guaranteed.
I'm like, I don't even know what to say. Like. I don't even think Kyle wanted Joe Mixon. He wanted Ken Walker, and he was mad when he got Joe Mixon, and it ended up being like, I don't know. I don't get it. It would be like if I got, like I said, 2 years from now, I pick Aaron Jones up in like the 5th round, and I'm like, man, this kind of sucks. He's old, and he's never been like that great of a running back, and then he's randomly the best. Like it wouldn't even make sense. Like my brain can't compute that Joe Mixon is the number one running back in fantasy football this year.
And the Texans like aren't an elite team either.
None of it makes sense. What's happening with Joe Mixon makes zero sense to me. Nothing checks out. But to touch on Austin, he scores 115. Like I said, his team did good. Christian McCaffrey is he's doing fine. He just hasn't scored a touchdown. That's basically it. But he'll get back. Achan's been great. Ooh, thoughts on this? Yeah. Higgins, I will say T. Higgins, I want to say is averaging in like games he's played like fully. I want to say his average is like 17 points per game or something like that. I read that insane. Somewhere.
I believe it, but at the same time, I hate him just because he has a new injury every week. If he plays every game from here on out, I'd be shocked.
Yeah, I'd be shocked too. I'd be shocked if him and Jamar Chase played every game for the rest of the year. Hear me out. They both are trying to get contracts, and if the Bengals have
Bengals suck.
Yeah, if they hit 9 losses at any point, I think T and Jamar Chase are just going to sit out the rest of the year and try to force a contract negotiation. So that'll be interesting. But no, Austin's team is good. Like I think his team's good at this point. But it's kind of like what we said when he made that trade with Chip and stuff was just like he was 1-3 at the time and he was really rolling the dice. I mean, realistically, even if he did win one of those games that he lost, like that's still 5-6 and he still has to win out, which he definitely can. And he might win out and maybe 7 wins gets you in the playoffs, but it's just tough. The way I kind of see it though is like I have this horrible feeling that because my last 3 games of the season are you, who we're going to get into, but I'm fucked with buys this week. So I'm expecting a loss to you. And then I play Austin in one of these last 3 weeks too. And I'm like, I think those are going to be 2 losses. Like I actually might miss the playoffs. Like just because my schedule is so fucking ass. Like luckily, like Mike didn't go off this week on me. But like,
you played Dave yet?
Yeah, when I played Dave, I mean, I put up like 130, but I beat him like 130 to like 93 or something.
I thought he was still left. But I play Austin in the final week, so that'll be exciting if he's in a position.
No, yeah,
it's just a must win.
It sucks not having a game this year where that I like played where I was like, I know I'm gonna win this week. You know, like I fucking hate that. Usually you have one of those where you're like. But yeah, the way I'm looking at it now is I have to win one of my next 3, and I play you when I'm fucked with buys, Austin, who I think this team, looking at it on paper, is a top 3 team. I don't know if he's going to make the playoffs, but he's might even be the best team. And then Nick Sad, who's also like a top 3 team. So like, I just have a feeling that I went 7-1 in my last 8 games, like got to this point, and then I have a really terrible feeling that I'm going to lose 3 straight and miss the playoffs, and it's going to be like the most crushing thing ever. And you have to admit it, Paul. When I say it to you, what I just said to you, you definitely know that's happening, don't you?
No, we'll get into it later, but I think our matchup is going to be close, but we'll talk about it later.
Okay, but if you beat me this week, which should happen, but if you do, I'm losing to Nick and Austin. Like I already
I don't know. We don't know until we see the matchups and shit. So I can't say yes or no.
I'm just bummed
I thought
out.
I was in your position.
I'm bummed out. I wish that the 2 trades that you've made in the last 2 weeks basically like set you up to beat specifically me this week, which is like pretty fucking lame. Like
I need to win.
No, I know, but I'm saying like the trades you made basically were like to beat me this week, essentially.
That and just I don't know. I'm just trying to make my team better because all the buys and shit.
Yeah, I know.
Are weird.
I'm just saying it blows because it was like, oh, this like I might have a chance with the bye weeks, but then it was like you went out and made 2 moves that were like, I'm trying to beat Brandon in this specific week. It fucking sucks, dude. I'm pissed. I went 7-1 and I know I'm losing 3 straight, so I'm fucking bummed out, dude. I'm just bummed. Next game, Ryan beats Gorman 108-78. Ryan gets 40 points from Taysom Hill. I don't think Ryan's gotten less than like 15 points from a tight end position like this year, which is insane to say because tight end is the worst position in football by far. The tight end luck has been absolutely absurd.
The tight end whisperer.
The first night, yeah, Ryan is the tight end whisperer. Thursday night, it looked like Gorman was going to take it because he gets 33 points from Saquon on Thursday night. But then everyone else pretty much shat their pants. So that's basically what happened there. Ryan takes the win here. Let's see. Yeah, not much else to say.
Josh Jacobs, I guess, was an MVP, but
no,
I mean, it's such a blowout. It didn't really matter.
MVP.
I know. I'm saying like there's 2 good guys, but it didn't really matter.
This is basically Ryan pulled a Gorman on Gorman, and as everyone knows, pulling a Gorman is having no one on your team do shit, but having 3 guys score 30 points and then you win, or 20 plus points and then you win. That's what Ryan did. 21 points from Josh Jacobs, 40 points from Taysom Hill. Even Lamar only scored 15, but like that's pretty much it. Yeah, like Gorman tried pulling a Gorman on Ryan, but yeah, he got the 33 from Saquon and then not 20 plus from anyone else. But either way, Ryan 7-4, looking good. I'm gonna have to see like everyone's remaining schedule, and then make prediction on who's gonna make the playoffs and not. And then here we go. Poor Dave, man. Nick plays Dave. Nick beats him 114-93, and at this point, Dave just can't put it all together at once. Last week, he got like 20 points from Russ, 20 points from Pickens, and like 13 points from Najee against me. And then this week, the Steelers have a piss class. He puts up 93 again. This time, Russ, Najee, Pickens like didn't do much. Like, I mean, we said it last week. He's living and dying by the Steelers. This week, he died by the Steelers. But like, it's just kind of crazy.
Stafford, what would that math be? I think he would have won by
21. No, he would have. Wait, I think he would have lost 28 points. 28 points. But Russ scored 26. Shit, dude. I'm about to do the actual math because that I think that actually comes down to decimal places here.
Yeah.
Let's see. 27.8 minus 6.3. Is that what Russ had?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
20. So he would have had 21.5 more points. he would have lost by 0.04. So, okay.
Would have been hilarious.
That's what I was saying. I was looking at the numbers and I was like, this is like way too close. I think I actually have to pull a calculator out. So, honestly, I wish that happened. It would have been way fucking funnier. If Dave lost by 0.07 would have been way better. But so at least Dave can't he can't say like, oh, I would have won if this, which always sucks. Nick kind of pulled a Gorman on Dave. 30 points from Burrow, 33 points from Amon Ra, nothing much from anyone else. Dave had a balanced attack. It's just it honestly comes down to your quarter. If your quarterback scores single digits, somehow I won one week. Like let me look. There was one week where I think everyone on my team did so good that I ended up winning. It could be this week. Yeah. Kyler got me 5 points this week. But everyone else did so good on my team and I was able to salvage it. Like this just hurts. Like, but the crazy thing is think if Russ scored 16 points, Dave would have had double-digit scores from everyone in his lineup and like 16, 11, 18, 16, 12, 11, 12. He still would have lost by 10. Like, does that even make sense in your brain? Like,
no.
I hate
like
that shit so much.
I've preached this week after week. I just want double digits from my guys. Dave got that except for his QB and still lost handily. So
I'm only bringing that up too because I've had multiple seasons in the past where I almost always construct my team to have guys that like I hate guys who go off one week and suck the next. Like I hate it so much. I had Stephon Diggs one season. I want to see like how ridiculous this game log is because I want to say it was 2019 when I had him when he was on the Vikings, and I think it was his last year on the Vikings. Oh, dude, it was torture. Let me see, maybe 2018. I just want to check. Okay, so it was definitely 2019. It was torture because so he got 5 points, 9 points, 3 points. I benched him because he was doing bad. Then he got 12. I played him. He got 6. Then I benched him. He got 40. And then I benched him again because I was like, I don't trust him. He got 18. I played him. He got 16. And then again, 2, 6, benched him 21. It was so fucking shitty, dude. Like I was guessing week after week when Diggs was going to do good. I fucking hate players like that. But all that to say this from Dave, like, it can be so frustrating in fantasy because I've had teams before in the past where like, this is like what my production would look like. It's like, 18 from my QB, 12 from one of my running backs, 10 from another, 15 from a wide receiver, 10 from another wide receiver, 8 from my tight end, 12 from my flex. And like you said, and I do the same thing. When I play guys, I'm like, I just want double-digit points. And I would be getting double-digit points from all my guys and still only, like, it would only add up to, like, 100 or, like, 98. And I'd be like, man, this fucking sucks, dude. Like, fantasy can be so frustrating sometimes, dude. Like, genuinely, like, that. Looking at Dave's team, it's like, okay, Russ had a bad game. Everyone else did good, and Dave scored 93. Like, it's fucking crazy, dude. All double digits, but Russ and his tight end. Doesn't even make sense. And then, yeah. But either way, Nick's team looks great. I'm worried about Debo, but that's like pretty much it. I'm worried about Kyron, I will say, because if he doesn't score a touchdown, he kind of just sucks, you know? So I'm a little worried about him, but I think he's going to score a touchdown more often than not. Burrow is like a guaranteed 25 points every. I mean, they throw so much. And Njoku is a great tight end, like, to have. Like, that's great.
The Browns will be losing, and they'll have to throw a ton. Yeah,
I mean, at the end of the day, Nick is going to have Burrow, top 3 fantasy quarterback. Kyron, probably a top 12 running back. Like, James Conner, probably like a top 12 running back. Amon-Ra, like a top 5 wide receiver. Nico, at least top 10 wide receiver. Njoku, like a top 3 to 5 tight end. It's going to come down to the flex. Like, if it's going to come down to if Debo, like, keeps sucking, you know what I mean? Like that's really what it's going to be. And if Debo turns it around, then he's going to be fine. My thing about Debo at this point, like, I've said it for a long time. I just don't think he's like a great pure wide receiver. I think he's a great weapon, but this offense just is kind of like weird at this point. It's it's like they can't get Debo in those situations, and then Debo's not good enough to get open by running routes. So it's like so weird. I mean, I'm sure they'll figure it out, but all that to say, I think me and you are both in agreement that Nick's team is like probably number 2 in the league, fully healthy. But one injury to Nick, and then I'm very worried about his team because, say Amon-Ra gets hurt, but he's starting Tyler Lockett, but he's starting Adam Thielen. We don't want to see that. Like, that's not what we want to see. But either way, great win from Nick and Dave. 1-10. It's so weird. Dave's team. No offense, Paul. I think Dave's team is better than your team last year, but he's gonna have like
last year, yeah, for sure.
He's gonna have like a worse record than you. Which
Dave's
doesn't
team is
make
better
sense.
than Mike this year as well.
I think. It just comes down to schedule. I mean, Dave's the highest, most scored on, I think. So that's what it comes down to. It doesn't even, things like that just don't make sense in my mind. Your team never scored 100 points last year.
Yeah.
Dave has scored 100 points, I think, like 3 times. He has 1 win. Like, it's fucked, man. And I don't think he's had many like piss classes as of late. Like 93 points isn't bad. It just comes down to schedule. 93 points would have beaten 1, 2.
I just looked at.
Yeah, it's only 3 people.
Yeah, I just looked at Dave's schedule. He's only gone 100 or more 1 time. It's hard to believe.
Has he just been getting 90 a lot then, or something? I guess I don't really pay attention to his games all the way through.
Sorta.
Let's see. 93, 116. I guess I meant like recently. I know
with Tyreek healthy.
Yeah. Like 116, 93, 93. I'm like, you would think that one of those 3 games he would have won a game. I mean, fuck, if he started Stafford, he would have lost this week with 114 anyways. Like, so it's kind of crazy how that's just, how things go, I guess. Let's check power rankings and shit. Kyle projected to finish first. Ryan second. Okay. Nick third. Me fourth. Paul fifth. Dewey sixth. Steve seventh. Chip eighth. Gorman eighth. Chip ninth. Austin 10th. Mike 11th. Dave 12th. We're just going to check the graph out real quick. I was talking to Paul before this started. Some interesting trends here. The bottom 4 teams, so Dave, Austin, Chip, and Mike all stayed the same. Dave stayed from last week. Or wait a second. Do I have? Let me make sure I.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Sorry. What were you saying?
I was just gonna confirm, like you said, Austin or Dave, whoever you're thinking of, like they stayed the same.
Yeah. A part of me, let me check this graph real quick, because a part of me thinks that this doesn't 827 to 28, let's go like this. What am I not selecting? A16 to, I don't know why this is only going to week 10. I have the numbers filled in here. All right, something's wrong with the graph, it looks like.
Fuck.
Yeah, I don't know how that happened. It's weird. It's almost like, did I actually start? I did start off at 12. Where does it get fucked up at? 5 to 4. Right here is at 5. Yeah, it's not counting like the most recent week for some reason. That's kind of lame. And if I put in the 8,
well, it's not putting 28. Yeah, it's just not throwing it in there.
Huh. Yeah, that's strange. If don't worry, we're not going to spend too much time on this. I just want to see if I can, here. Okay, let me just put in 8s all here. We'll be good. But the weird thing is that it had a lot of people with the same, like, power ranking week after week. Okay, so things are looking really weird on this chart now. It's actually been longer than that. Oh, okay. So Dave and Mike have been the same rank since week 8. That's for sure. But this week we had things stay the same, really strange. Dave, Mike stayed the same. Gorman stayed the same. Steve stayed the same. Dewey stayed the same. Kyle stayed the same. Kyle's now on 3 straight weeks of number 1. Ryan was the only other person to have more than 1 week at number 1, and he had hit 3 weeks in a row. So one more, if Kyle wins this week, that's going to be 4 weeks. Even if he loses, he might still be at the number 1 spot, and then he would set the new record there. But there's just not like movement this week. I wonder if it's because we're getting into the end game and things are more like guaranteed at this point.
Yeah, more steady.
Yeah, but it's kind of crazy to see like just pretty much zero movement from last week to this week for the most part, besides like a couple people swapping. I will say, like, some of the interesting ones are Dewey. Oh, well, let's do this first. So that's the graph, and we'll kind of tie it in with this, where we go over the standings. First place in the East is Nick at 7-4. Second place in the East is me, 7-4. Third place Paul, 7-4. Fourth place Gorman, 5-6. Fifth place Chip, 5-6, and then Austin is in last in the East at 4-7. As for West and just overall in Footbap League, Kyle sole possession of first, 8-3, but also first in the West. Second in the West is Ryan, 7-4. Third in the West, Dewey, 6-5. Fourth in the West, Steve, 6-5. Fifth in the West is Mike, 3-8, and then last place and eliminated from the playoffs is Dave at 1-10. Highest scorer on the year should be Kyle. Yep, Kyle's highest scorer on the year. Lowest scorer is Mike. Wow, Dave scored almost 100 more points than Mike, but he has 2 less losses. Ryan's least scored on, the only one that doesn't have 1,000 scored on him, and like I said, Dave is most scored on. As for divisions, Paul 4-1 in division, about to be 5-1 in division after this week. So just a divisional slayer. But Steve also 4-1 in division. Ryan also 4-1 in division. Although I will say, Ryan's probably includes a little Mike and Dave W in there, so it's kind of a Mickey, a little bit of a Mickey 4-1 record. Mike, again, he hasn't won a game in his division, but he's won 3 against the East, which is kind of crazy. As for home teams, Paul 5-1 at home. Ooh, we should check if our game this week.
Let me take a look.
How do we
I'm
see
home if I'm second?
Oh, right? No, yeah, I think you're right. No, you're 5-1 at home. Everything's stacking up against me. And then as for away, Kyle 4-1 away. Apparently, I'm 4-2 away. A lot of people 4-2 away. Everyone's good away and not at home. Besides Dave hasn't won a game on the way. But longest win streak is me at 5, but Kyle's won 4 in a row also. And then longest losing streak is Dave at 8. Most moves is Paul at 29, but Kyle's at 25. He's right there.
Kyle's catching up, man. I don't like it.
Yeah, Kyle's catching up.
This is my category.
Yeah. And then we're gonna check out the projected playoff bracket at this point. First round bye would go to Kyle. No surprise there. The 2 versus 7 matchup would be 2 seed Nick versus 7 seed Steve. The 3 versus 6 matchup would be 3 seed Ryan versus 6 seed Dewey. The 4-5 matchup would be me and you, Paul. Fuck, that'd be crazy. And then as for losers bracket, Dave gets a bye by being the worst in the league. Number 10 versus number 11 is Austin versus Mike, and then number 9 versus 8 is Gorman versus Chip. Some things I want to talk about here with the power ranking, though. First, why I wanted to kind of go to that. Dewey at 6 seems kind of crazy. Like, he's number 6 in the playoffs now, but for him to be projected 6 at the end of the year seems crazy, because I think that Dewey has a lot of buys this week and he might play a good team, but like there's so much competition around there. I guess, like, where's Steve at? They have Steve finishing 7th, which would still be in the playoffs. I guess I would think Steve would be 6th. I don't know. Maybe that's like nitpicky, but like, a part of me also thinks Gorman's not going to miss the playoffs. I know he's 5-6, but I'm like, it's kind of breaking my mind that he could miss the playoffs with Saquon and Derrick Henry. It doesn't make sense.
Gorman's team's one of the better ones.
Also, Paul just keeps winning games. You lose, dropping down in the power rankings. I will say, I said, Paul is projected to beat me this week, just going solely based on projections. I don't know why they have you at 5 and me 6 when you're projected to beat me. I think
because it was like that. Like once Tuesday came around before the trades happened, I feel like it doesn't update.
Oh, so it might be like a day. So like tomorrow it'll probably be updated. But either way, we have what's in here now. I can't like update that. But where is Ryan projected to finish it? Ryan's projected 2nd. Like, I would put Nick there personally.
Yeah,
I think I'd go Kyle if it were my power rankings, and these are power rankings doing it the ESPN way, so not who I think has the best teams, but like based on record making the playoffs wise. Kyle 1, Nick 2, probably Ryan 3. I guess I don't know who Ryan plays this week.
I think is it just going off points forced? Yeah, it's going off like.
Oh, so it's not even
for the tiebreaker.
Oh, but Ryan does have a free win this week, so yeah, Ryan 3rd still. I would keep that. 4th would be you. Who? Let's see, Dewey there. If I lose to you, but who's Dewey playing? Kyle. So Dewey's would maybe lose.
Dewey's probably losing.
Steve looks like he's projected to lose. Maybe a lot of people on the bubble, like me, Dewey, Steve, and who else?
Gorman?
No, I think Gorman's projected to win, right? Oh no, Gorman's not projected. Yeah, I guess everyone on the bubble's like gonna lose this week, which is kind of great. All right, we're spoiling the matchups here. Either way, all this to say, there's been so much movement in this graph as the weeks have gone on, but this week there was just no movement, and I feel like we're locking into a point to where like I think there's going to be very minimal movement for the rest of the way. It's going to take me losing 3 games in a row, or Austin winning 3 games in a row, or Gorman winning 3 games in a row, or something like that to like really fuck things up, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah.
It should be a fun little end to the season. Let's go to the recent activity now. So after our episode last week, let's see. Kyle added Chris Olave. Paul added Keon Coleman. Oh, I dropped the Coke Master, Jalen Coker. That's
I just
bummer.
Don't like fucking what's his name, Bryce Young.
Austin picked up Jordan Mason. Kyle picked up the Rams defense. Austin picked up John Mechie. Did he even is he even on Austin's team anymore?
I don't know what that. He didn't start him, that's for sure.
Yeah, he still has John Mechie, I guess. Austin also added the Browns defense. That was a crazy ad. I mean, like, yeah, he wasn't going to start the Jets, but to go for the Browns the Browns defense fucking sucks, dude. I don't know what's going on there. And then Gorman picked up the Jets. Austin dropped the Jets landmine on the timeline, and then fucking Gorman picks up the Jets, and they get him 3 points. He did. And then there's Gorman Mike picking up the Titans. Mike made his name Everyone Should Make the Playoffs, and then he changed his abbreviation from SAG to DOG, and then he named his team Luna is a Good Dog, which is my new puppy, and then he named his team Luna is a Good to Luna is a Good Dog. Oh, so he started it out with Luna is a Good, and then he had to change it to Luna is a Good Dog, and then he changed his abbreviation from Dog to Woof. So just this man is just like strung out on crack. Yeah, like, and he doesn't even know what the fuck's losing his fucking mind on. This is all at 5 p.m. on a Monday, dude. What is this man doing? Either way, we have some shop talk happening. The Nintendo Paul shop. Wait a second, I have an idea.
Yes.
A new segment just popped into my mind. One sec.
I have a segment for later. I'll try and remember it. I've got to take I got a notepad open. Write down my segment. Is that the music for
yeah. Here's the Nintendo eShop theme, and now Paul, we're gonna start the new segment here called the Nintendo Paul Shop. Paul, lay out these 2 trades that processed and go.
Well, all right. So I think. I don't know what day it was, probably Monday or Tuesday. I just texted in the group chat, shop talk needs to happen, something along those lines. I was letting everyone know the trades are going to be firing out Monday or Tuesday. I think it must have been Tuesday. So I think I probably sent out at least 8 trades, most of them to like 4 teams. I didn't like send one to everyone.
Not a single trade to me.
No, that hasn't happened. Just, all right, what I do, I browse teams, I see what their needs are. If they need a running back, if they need in this case it was running backs.
Oh, so you have the other team in mind. This is Paul. He totally has the best interest of who he's trading.
Oh, yes. Of course I always do. So I scout I play a little bit of, scenario in my head. What if I trade this guy for this guy? What if they say yes? What if they want more? All that stuff. And eventually it works out. Here, well, the first one with Dave, that's not how it went. I just threw that at him. I texted him, you know what time it is. And he accepted right away. Because he knew the mid for mid trade had to happen this year. And I'm glad we got that done.
But glad we got the mid for mid trade out of the way now. Just so you can win your award at the end of the year for most mid trade.
I think that's 3 years in a row now. So so that was taken care of. That was just a little bit of shop talk to get the ball rolling for everyone. To get everyone in the mood per se. But how the chip trade happened, I really can't remember. I was texting Austin and Ryan and Chip, like they were the 3 guys I was going back and forth with all day. Chip really didn't text me too much. I texted him in the morning. He put like the eye emojis, and then just didn't reply until like 6 o'clock. And then we picked trade talk back up. So it wasn't originally it was just I said Javonte Williams for Baker, and let me get the text up here. It didn't work out, of course.
To get the text up, buddy.
Let me get the
Javonte for Baker straight up. Why did that one not work out? I need to hear this one.
Oh, this is how I started. Okay, so like I said, I scout people, I see what their needs are, I text them. Seems like you're in need of a running back this week, with the thinking emoji. He sent me back the eyes. I said, I've sent a trade. What are you thinking? And then all the shop talk began there. So originally it was just Baker for Javonte. He didn't want that. He wanted more. Clearly he got more.
Okay, this is crazy because in my mind, I figured you asked for more and somehow got more.
No, that's the thing.
What the fuck, dude? So he could have gotten away with just doing that in the end. I don't know. Go ahead, though.
It seems like he really wanted Javonte Williams, or Jameson Williams.
Okay.
Too many Williams.
Yeah.
But, so he sent that originally without Deontay Johnson or Trey Benson. It was just Baker and Cedric for the Williams boys.
How did Deontay Johnson get in this thing? Good fucking lord.
So I said I want Trey Benson, and then I was like, at that point, I'm just gonna drop Deontay if I do this. So he's like, just give me him. So that's how he got thrown in. He just wanted him on his roster.
So to lay it all out here, first off, I mean, obviously the first trade was just a mid-off, Paul and Dave swapping Khalil Herbert and Roshan Johnson. But the full trade was Paul trades Javonte Williams, Jameson Williams, and Deontay Johnson to Chip for Baker Mayfield, Cedric Tillman, and Trey Benson. So, yeah, Paul needed a quarterback this week. Josh Allen's on a bye. Baker Mayfield's like a top 6 quarterback probably this week. But also in general in fantasy football, like probably like a top 8 quarterback in fantasy football. Yeah, this trade goes through, and immediately I was like, what the fuck? Because in my mind, I'm like, the way I see it is this. Baker is greater than times a million Javonte Williams as a fantasy football player value-wise. Baker is clearly far superior than Javonte. And then I go, and then it's a Cedric Tillman for Jameson Williams flip. Jameson Williams looks like a home run guy getting like 4 to 6 targets a game. Tillman, he's obviously like maybe Chip just didn't really believe in him, but like I feel like he's a little safer, and he's got Jameis throwing him the ball. They're gonna have to throw a lot. The defense sucks. So in my mind, Tillman and Jameson are at least equal. I'll just say equal. I don't know if you could really argue one way or another to me. And then the last piece, the fact that like Trey Benson in my mind is probably like a top 5 to 8 running back handcuff. If James Conner gets hurt, Trey Benson is like a top 12 running back. So in my mind, he just flipped a top 10 handcuff for the worst player in fantasy football at this point, Deontay Johnson. So in my mind,
thing is,
no, go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. Oh, no, I was just gonna say that Trey Benson, I drafted him originally, and I traded him to Chip for the Trey Sermon trade, and now I got him back. So feels good.
Yeah. I don't know. This is like, if I were to give grades here, I mean, for you, it is an A+ because you got an amazing handcuff and a top 8 quarterback to fill in. Like, you got to guarantee yourself a win this week while also getting a handcuff, and also Cedric Tillman is very good. Like, you completely won this. And then on Chip's side, it's just, I'm just gonna go out. I'll give him a D because I'll say Jameson Williams, like Jameson Williams has value. But in my mind, no matter, I don't know. I don't care how desperate you are for running back. It's Javonte Williams who Sean Payton has already showed us that there are weeks where Javonte Williams could only get the ball one time. You know what I mean? Like, that's how I see it. Is it's like we're desperate for running back, so we pick a running back that like doesn't even have a guaranteed like starting role. Like, just seems crazy to me. And then on top of that, I'm salty because like I said, I play Paul this week, and it's just at least borderline guarantees a win for Paul. So I'm like, Chip just made this desperation ass trade to my opponent a week after Austin made that trade that like gives you Brian Robinson this week when T. Higgins would have been on bye. It's just crazy how in a week it went from like, oh, we have an even matchup to like, I'm fucked. But go ahead.
I can't really remember my target item for Ryan was actually Taysom Hill, but Ryan, he got some cold feet, I'll admit
He's always getting some cold feet. He's got George Kittle. You'd think if I were him, to be honest, I would trade George Kittle. Not even kidding. I'd trade George Kittle to someone and get like, doesn't Ryan starting Nick Chubb every week? Fucking trade George Kittle to like, I don't know if Gorman has a tight end. This is just off the top of my head, but I know Gorman has like 4 fucking starting running backs. Yeah, and Laporta sucks. So there you go. Give him George Kittle and Gorman's got like Aaron Jones on his bench. There you go. Running back problem solved, like in my mind. But yeah. Yeah,
Lauren. What's his name? Ryan. Lauren. What the fuck am I saying?
Lauren was getting into some shop talk here.
She texted me, so I had that name in my head. But Ryan and I were chatting before the pod today, and I brought this same thing up. I was like, you have 2 top tight ends now, and you need a running back bad. Why don't you trade one of them? And he was just going through saying no one wants to, or teams that need a tight end don't have running backs that he would be able to get.
You know what he was saying? He was saying, "Oh, brr, my feet are so cold, brr, oh, cold feet."
His teeth were chattering in the mic, in my ear. I could hear them.
I will say though, as you can hear, the shop talk music has stopped, but I did get a text from Kyle today. Oh. Maybe there's some shop talk coming in on me and Kyle. Everyone's gonna have to tune in, see if that shop talk turns into anything.
I love shop talk.
Anyways, this has been shop talk with Paul. A pretty good segment we have going on here, even though
me and Austin were pretty close. I was trying to get Justin Herbert from him, but it wouldn't budge. That was my target. But yeah, lots of targets, lots of things happened. Glad I could close the deal.
All right, let's get back to the rest of these like actual non-trade moves here, which would be Nick adding Tua, Austin adding Eagles defense, Steve adding Commanders defense, which he drops Nick Westbrook Akine, which we were making fun of Steve for starting him the week before. Then this week he has like a 92-yard touchdown catch and scores 19 points. So that would have won
it if he played him instead of. And then, I don't know who his flex was, but.
And then the lottery man himself has bought another lottery ticket, but this one's just a guaranteed L. Ryan picks up fucking Tank Bigsby, who I don't even care if you think that like you're like, hey, maybe Travis Etienne will get hurt. Who the fuck cares? The Jaguars suck, dude. Mac Jones is their quarterback. The Jags literally fucking blow. And Dearness Johnson gets like half the snaps anyways, no matter who the fuck is starting. I don't know what the fuck that's all about. These lottery tickets are getting out of fucking control. This one is straight up like this is straight up a 99.99999% chance to not work out. I'm calling it right now. That being said, remember I said last week how I said that CeeDee Lamb was mid and then he went off last year. Brian Robinson the same this year. So I may have just pushed Tank Bigsby into football stardom. So keep an eye on that. But on paper, this move is fucking bizarre.
Ryan again was talking about, because he asked me, I think earlier, I don't know when. Well, it must have been today because waivers went through today. But he was just like, what you think or whatever. I was like, this is the worst lottery ticket you could have picked. And I explained the Jags are horrible. Tank Bigsby in general just isn't good, even if Etienne's out. But he told me Trevor's going to come back. They'll be back to their old ways. He sees
Trevor's
those
not
two,
coming back. He's the future of the team, and they have like 2 wins. Yeah,
Ryan saw those 2 20-point games when he got a heavy workload, and those dollar signs.
I don't even think he had a heavy workload in one of them. Though the Patriots game, well, I guess he did have 18 carries against Green Bay, but he didn't do good. The Colts one, like the way I see it. Tell me, the Patriots game was the only game that like Tank Bigsby started and got the majority of the carries in, right? And did something with it, because the Packers didn't really do much with it. Tell me one other time the rest of this fucking season when they're going to have a 3-score lead and run the ball 18 times with Tank Bigsby in the second half alone. It's just not going to happen, dude. But either way, whatever.
Yeah.
Mike finally dropped Justice Hill. Praise the fucking Lord. Austin added Ray McLeod. I don't know what the hell is happening there. This is just a shitty waiver week. I mean, we're picking up Gus
gotta look
Edwards.
at the offers.
Oh God, just kill me now. What's going to happen here?
Well, the top one, I got a little
Mick
story
added
for this
Tua for $25.
I got a little story for this. So
did you tell him to do that?
No, I didn't. It was just me, Gorman, Nick, and Ryan were in a Discord call yesterday, and we were just talking shop, here and there. And what came up was Nick doesn't make waiver pickups, and we're like, Nick, you need a quarterback. Joe Burrow's on a bye. He's like, oh shit, I'll actually make a pickup. And Gorman probably was upset that topic came up, because Gorman's idea was to take Tua. And now Nick was like, oh, I haven't picked up anyone. I'm just going to drop big money on him. And actually did it. So it's pretty funny. He told Gorman he was going to do this, and still Gorman probably just didn't believe him. And it actually happened. So.
Yeah, because I see Gorman putting $5. So I was like, well, I guess he outbid Gorman. Kyle gets outbid by $1 on defenses weekly. It's actually pretty impressive. You got outbid on the Commanders' defense, apparently. Yeah, apparently, Kyle tried picking up Tank Bigsby, too. Yeah, what is happening right now? He's injured. I think they might even be on a bye week. What the fuck is going on, dude?
It's funny if you click. I don't know if you can view it on the computer, but on the app, like how it says teams interested, Kyle said that he's interested in Tank Bigsby, and it says one team interested, and it's Kyle. If you click on him.
Fuck.
You can't view it though.
Yeah. Wait. Yeah. I can't.
Kyle
see
never
it.
had him. Wow. He's been going after him all year. Just never had him.
Yeah, you're right. He's put like 10 bids on fucking Tank Bigsby, dude. Like unbelievable. Yeah. Apparently, 2 people wanted Gus Edwards. I mean, he didn't even do shit this week. I don't know what the hell is happening right now. Either way, those are the waiver wires. Now let's get into the matchups. Let's speed run these a bit because we got a few mid games that are going to be blowouts. Ryan plays Mike. He's projected to beat him by 30. Tell me one good reason why Mike's going to win this week. I have zero reasons why. Yeah,
nope. I got nothing.
There's nothing. Unless Mike gets 30 points from Purdy, 30 points from Tyro Tracy, 30 points from Kelsey. Pacheco's just not going to get a full workload either way, though, in my mind. Like, this is... Ryan doesn't even have any Mickey, buys. No, I'm not. I'm not even saying anything about Mickey. I'm saying Mike has buys. Yeah, because he has Jamar Chase on buy. Yeah, Mike has buys and injuries. Ryan is beating Mike this week. Okay, Ryan, you're 8-4. You're in the playoffs. Congratulations, brother. Next game, Kyle plays Dewey. Kyle's projected to win by 14. Dewey is starting Cam Akers and Jalen Waddle, Roman, or Dunze. I don't know. I think that Kyle's probably going to win this, if I had to guess.
Yeah. Yep.
But Jaden Daniels and Terry, they play Dallas. So Dewey's not... I give Kyle an 80% chance to win, but Jaden Daniels can score 30 and Terry 20. And then right there, Montgomery against Indy 20. So... He has at least 3 players that can score 30 points, and so that gives him a chance.
Depends on Montgomery if he's stealing touchdowns from Gibbs like he usually does, and if the Commanders are up big, they won't throw, so that could be a problem.
Yeah, that could be also. But in my mind, 80% chance Kyle wins. Another one that's just
I'd give it a 90.
Nah, I can't go 90 just because 3 players that can score 30 kind of scares me. This one... I think Davis projected to win 95 to 85 as it is right now. I think this is going to be a very close game. I'm not guaranteeing Dave wins, but I'm saying this is 50-50, which is enough of a percentage for Steve to be at least, a little nervous.
Oh. He's starting Singletary. We like that.
Yeah, we like that. But also, like, JSN stepped up. CD is just going to get like 12 targets. He's got Mike Evans back. I don't know. Steve's team really doesn't look that bad to me. To be honest, it's going to come down to Dave, and he's living and dying by the Steelers defense. Rashad White on the bench against the Giants. I feel like that has to change, right? Like, there's no fucking way he's starting not. Well, I guess Najee plays Cleveland. I don't fucking know. Dobbins against Baltimore. I don't know. This is going to be a close game. Do you have any preference on who's going to win? Like, I don't have a thought of who's going to win. This seems extremely even.
I think definitely Steve's going above 85 though. That's for sure.
Oh yeah, if I had to make any pick in this game, it would be Steve over 85, 100%. Maybe even Steve plus 10, because I can't imagine this seems like a close game. But Dave versus Steve, Dave looking for a second win, Steve looking to stay alive in the playoffs. Should be a good one. Austin versus Gorman. I already got done talking about. I said Austin's team I think is like top 3 at this point in time, but Austin has T. Higgins and James Cook on a bye, which means Austin is starting Dallas Goedert at the flex and Jerry Jeudy. Wow. Okay. So when I looked into this at first, I was like, Gorman's kind of fucked. He's got a lot of buys. The more I look at it, Gorman doesn't really have a lot of buys. He just isn't starting a defense right now, and he's starting Caleb Williams. I guess this is going to be close. This doesn't seem like the blow. I didn't know I didn't know Austin had T and James Cook on it. I thought Austin was starting one shitty guy, not 2.
Yeah, I wonder what Gorman's strat is, if he's going to stick with Caleb or go. Because Anthony Richardson, he's a running back basically. Might go that route.
Yeah.
There's a few. Well, Drake May's all right. Derek Carr, Sam Darnold. There's options.
Call me crazy, but Austin picked up the Eagles' defense against the Rams. What the hell? Am I going insane right now? Every week, Austin makes a completely questionable defensive decision, and then he's talking about wanting to get defenses out of the league because they're random. But when you keep starting bad defenses or defenses against good offenses, you're just not playing the game right. Not even saying that the Eagles are going to do bad, but I'm saying, like, on paper, I just can't believe he spent $3 for that. That seems like kind of crazy. But either way, I think this is going to be.
I think it'll be close.
It's going to be very close, very, very close.
If I had to choose, I think I would pick Austin to win. But
you're just saying that because the number looks that way, brother. Now imagine.
No, I'm thinking
Gorman has a defense and it's 97-92.
I'm thinking CMC and Herbert pop off, and he gets his 2. That cancels Saquon and Derrick Henry. Then it's just everyone else against each other.
I'm thinking this. I'm thinking Hopkins, Devontae, Saquon, Derrick Henry all have really good matchups, and Chicago's run defense isn't good. I just think it's dead even. Austin's going to have to get pop-off performances from Herbert, McCaffrey, Achane, probably Flowers, maybe even McBride. Yeah. They all have guys with pop-off chances. It's just going to come down to who scores 30. Yep. Apparently, last time they played, Gorman beat Austin 80-70. So a little revenge game here for Austin. Let's see if anyone else has played anyone before. So this is Ryan versus Austin, or Ryan versus Mike. Last time they played, Ryan beat Mike by 100 or 130. Sorry about that. Last time Dewey and Kyle played, Kyle beat Dewey 96-93. Last time Steve and Dave played, I guarantee Steve won that one. Yeah, 118-75. Not hard to guarantee that. Let's get to this one. Okay, so Chip's lineup isn't set, I would assume. Okay, Chip's lineup is set.
Chip beat Nick last time too. This is a revenge game.
Okay, Chip's lineup isn't. He's not actually starting Deontay Johnson, right?
No, I hope not.
I'm just.
It's got to be Jameson.
Yeah,
and Javonte.
Yeah, I'm assuming this is going to be more like Nick projected to win 100 to like 86 or 85 or something. That being said, I guarantee Nick to win. James Conner versus
Nick's
Seattle.
Team all healthy.
Yeah, Tua versus the Patriots. Nico, Debo. Yeah, fully healthy, no bye week. Nick, besides Burrow, but you still got Tua in there. That's just about as good. So I think this is a good spot for Nick. And then the only game, well, no, because we thought Austin and Steve would be close, right?
I think so, yeah.
And maybe even Steven. Okay, there are more close games, but there are some shitty games too. At least projection wise, they have this close. Paul is projected to beat me 99-96. Last time we played, Paul beat me by 30. And like I said, I kind of laid it out before. When this matchup on paper, like a week ago, was Paul playing. Essentially, you probably would have played like Sam Darnold or some shit against me, or like Tua, which, Tua's not bad, but he's not great. And then Javonte Williams, and instead it's turned into Baker and Brian Robinson. So I would say, like, if you made me take a bet in this, it would be you -3. I'm just saying it right now. I mean, I'm 7-1. At some point, my team's gonna not do good, and I can't. It's probably gonna be this week when I'm starting Xavier Worthy and Rico Dowdle. I'm playing Paul, who I always suck against. Paul's team is essentially a fully healthy and no bye week team. It basically is that, right? Like, okay, no Josh Allen, whatever. You have Baker Mayfield, so it's basically a fully.
You're forgetting a key piece to my team, Evan Ingram.
Yeah, I'm way more scared about Mark Andrews than I am Evan Ingram, and I'm not even kidding. I can't even believe I've been starting Evan Ingram. I think it worked last week, but
it's been a horrible decision every week for tight end.
Yeah. But in my mind, the way I see it is, Baker Mayfield, I think, is a top five option at quarterback this week, maybe like 5-6 quarterback at this week. Jonathan Taylor's probably like a top 15 running back this week. Gibbs probably top 5. Cooper Kupp probably top 12 wide receiver. Cortland Sutton probably top 15 to 18 wide receiver. Mark Andrews, with all the bye weeks, probably is a top 10 tight end. Brian Robinson probably a top 12 running back. I was saying last night, I don't think there's a single position that I actually have an advantage. I don't care what ESPN's projections are. There's no one like straight up like, my best running back is Ken Walker, but Gibbs is better than him. My second running back is Chuba Hubbard. Jonathan Taylor's better than him. Quarterback is probably at least a wash. Maybe you could say A.J. Brown better than Kupp, but I don't even know. They're at least even to me. Cortland Sutton's better than Worthy. Tight end is probably close to a wash. Brian Robinson's miles better than Rico Dowdle. So I don't have a single advantage anywhere. It would be
the defense.
Yeah, the defense. It would be an insane stroke of luck if I somehow came out and won this. I accepted days ago that I was going to lose this, but it is a little bit of a bummer because I was looking at it in a head and I was like, all right, I'm fucked with buys this week, but so is Paul. And then it just ended up not really being the case. So I'm just going to do it right now because and I know I can't do it, and I'll pick another one. But if I wasn't in this matchup, my guarantee win of the week would be you. That being said, I am in this matchup, so my guaranteed win of the week, I think, is gonna be. It's probably too much of a cop out to pick Ryan against.
I was gonna
Mike.
say Ryan doesn't count.
Yeah, Ryan doesn't count. So then, and I don't even know if Nick really counts. You're going with Kyle. Yeah, that's probably the next best one. I would, yeah. I'll go. I will also pick Kyle over Dewey, but I'm very close to picking Dave. You know what the craziest part about me not picking Dave is that it's because I'm terrified of Bo Nix against the Raiders. I think he can score 30 points. Bo fucking Nix, dude. Like, are you kidding me? Where are we at in football right now that's a thing? I was saying to I've been talking to people about like the Browns and stuff, the whole quarterback situation. We're always fucked at quarterback. Everyone knows that. We're the fucking Cleveland Browns. But of course this year we're gonna have like a top 3 to 5 pick. And like, imagine if this would have just happened last year. We made the playoffs and lost a game. We didn't gain anything. We made the playoffs. It didn't mean anything. It only means something if you win Super Bowls. So last year's playoffs means nothing. I would gladly have taken a top 10 pick last year and gotten Drake May, who I think looks great. Jaden Daniels, who I think looks great. Bo Nix looks great. What other? I feel like every rookie quarterback has like pretty much looked good, and it's like there were so many. And this is the year that we have is going to be like, do you want piss or shit. Take Sanders or Cam Ward, and it's like you're just fucked. Take Carson Beck. Like it's just insane that this is where we're at, dude. I just can't. I can't believe and this has been our whole lives. We have the number 1 pick this year when there's no one there, and then the next year it's Cam Newton, and then we have the number 1 pick this year. It's shitty and stupid. The next year it's like Andrew Luck, and it's like we're 1 year away every time. We're always in the wrong.
We never get that easy pick.
Yeah, we're always in the wrong fucking year, dude. We never are in the right year.
Myles Garrett, that was the only year it was like a clear choice.
Yeah,
every other year
and that wasn't a quarterback. I was talking specifically about quarterback.
Yeah.
Every time we have the first overall pick or like a top 3 pick, there's never like a quarterback like in that range. I give us slack for the year we took Baker because like I feel like the Browns, everyone was in their ear saying like you can't pick Josh Allen, you can't pick Lamar Jackson, but they were like the clear picks, you know. Looking back at it, but it was between like Baker and Darnold basically, and like Josh Rosen. So it's like even when we do have the number 1 pick and there are good quarterbacks, it's guys that are like later in the draft. Like it's just so crazy. It never works out. Like we're the Browns. We need like a fucking like fastball right down the middle. We can't be trying to get fancy and pick a Josh Allen because like if this year we have like the number 3 pick and we're like, ooh, let's get fancy. Let's pick Carson Beck. Like it'll just blow up in our face because like we can't get fancy. And then if we don't get fancy, like there's never a guaranteed guy. Like there's never like, oh, we're just going to take who we're supposed to take. It's Shedeur Sanders and he's not going to be great. Like I don't know.
Next year we could get Arch Manning, but we're not going to be able to.
Yeah, I guarantee you we're going to pick Cam Ward or Shedeur Sanders. And my guess is it's going to be Cam Ward. And I bet you Cam Ward doesn't play for the first 8 weeks. And then we start Cam Ward in like week 9 or 10 next year. He only plays, half a season. He doesn't look good, but the front office is going to say, we have to stick with him and play it out and stuff. And then we're going to miss on Arch Manning the year after. And Cam Ward's going to suck that year, get benched halfway through. Back to the drawing board. It's never going to work out. It's never going to work out, dude. It just never is.
We need better lottery picks. We need to take some guys. We need Ryan as a GM.
I was just about to say, we need better lottery picks. Someone call Ryan up because he'll find the Tank Bigsby of quarterbacks and we're going to go to the promised land with that. I don't think I forgot anything though, right, Paul? I feel like we covered everything.
No, I think game of the week. I'm picking between fucking Gorman and Austin or Dave and Steve because like Steve needs to win this. Like, Steve needs this and Dave.
But Austin and Gorman need theirs too.
Yeah, like all 4. Well, Dave doesn't need all 3 of those guys in that space right there need wins.
No, and Dave needs one for the pride. Dave needs one for his own pride.
It'd be so funny if Dave won. So
Steve's
in danger.
I'll say my game of the week will be Steve and Dave, and it's just for the sheer fact that Steve does need the win, but Dave's team is like feisty right now, so it's not a guaranteed win. So I'll go with that one. That'll be. Man, and like Steve loses that, it's totally wide open because say Gorman wins and then say Dewey loses and then you got 3 or 4 teams tied 6-6. Like, that shit can get like crazy. So, and say Chip won. What if Chip beats the 6-6 there? Like you never know what can happen. It's fantasy football. So yeah, Steve and Dave game of the week. Everyone. And that's a fucking. I just realized we're like low key in rivalry week. Me versus you, Steve versus Dave, Mike versus Ryan. This is about as rivalry week as it gets, right? Yeah. Kyle versus Dewey. Kyle always loses to Dewey. It seems like he beat him this year, but yeah, this is like a somewhat of a rivalry week. So, yeah, everyone, thank you for joining in on this episode of the Fantasy Footbaps podcast. I think that's all I got, Paul. Yep. Paul, do you have anything else to say to the fans before we sign off?
We got it. Nothing else. There's a funny song. Can you actually pull up a song real quick, just as an outro before the actual outro? Okay. I liked it on YouTube. Hold on, I'm gonna link it. It's
Yo, man, let me link this to you real quick.
Yeah, let me link it. Hold on, let me get it. Where the fuck is it? Oh, liked videos. Here we go.
Oh, by the way, shout out to
Uh,
the Cleveland Cavaliers. They pissed on the Pelicans
Oh,
today,
yeah.
even though they had like a bunch of injuries. I mean, the Pelicans had a bunch of injuries too, but
Ty Jerome season. All right, go ahead and play that. Let people relish in the beautiful sounds they're about to hear.
I'm worried just because of the thumbnail.
No, it's classic. Blast that shit. I was playing this in my ear. I was getting ready to
Jesus Christ.
watch some football.
Wait, can you hear it or no?
No. I just like the first 10 seconds.
I can't wait to see what that. I'm gonna have to fast forward to this part of the video. Where am I at? We're like an hour 15 in. I'll have to look at this because it started playing from Discord. I accidentally misclicked and just hit like play in Discord. And it was like wow, wow, wow.
Yeah,
wait, let me know if you could hear it on your
I
end
love
though.
the tuba shit.
Can you hear it? No.
I'm playing it for myself though. I've listened to this like 3 times today.
All right, Footbap Nation.
Let's ride.